Hey guys, what's up? It's JP back for another video. Today we are heading to Amsterdam. And just like the other videos, I'll be talking about cost at the end of the video, but Amsterdam is our first stop in Europe. It's known as the Venice of the North because of its numerous canals, and you're going to see all of these beautiful little canals that just scatter throughout the city. It's also an entirely walkable city, so that's also another beautiful thing about Europe, is that you can walk everywhere in Europe. This is our first stop, which is the Royal Palace. Now, that Royal Palace was actually in the middle of Dam Square, which is one of the larger squares in all of Amsterdam. The rally was actually being held there when we were at this spot, so we actually decided to just move on from there pretty quickly. But you can see how beautiful these canals are. They are all over the place, and they do have tours that operate on the canal system where you can basically do some day drinking and just enjoy the sights from a different perspective. We decided to skip that as me and my wife really aren't big drinkers. Next stop here was Anne Frank House, and unfortunately you really have to book this well in advance. The Anne Frank House tends to sell out pretty quickly. You should probably book at least 2 to 3 weeks before you're actually planning on going. A couple of things about Amsterdam. The mode of transportation here is bicycle. You could see that in these images. There are a ton of bikes everywhere you go, and the bikes are basically the preferred mode of transportation here. Cars are really not looked at favorably, particularly when you get to this area of the canal system. After a little bit of a brief walk through that area, we decided let's go over and visit the red light district, as this is probably the most notorious part of all of Amsterdam. Amsterdam has probably one of the most liberal policies when it comes to regulating prostitution as well as cannabis. And believe it or not, here they actually refer to their cannabis stores as coffee shops, so just be aware of that. But here is the red light district, and you can see there are a lot of love boutiques all around, and a lot of different museums exhibiting all of the prostitution that was essentially part of Amsterdam's history. Like I mentioned, prostitution is legal and regulated in this area, and the sex workers are operating in this area actually appear in windowed brothels, so that's something you always want to be careful for. But they didn't really have any sort of peep shows that were going on during the day. They usually take place at night, so just be aware. But you can see Amsterdam really is a beautiful place. While you might expect the red light district to be a little run down, it's actually pretty much equally as pretty as it is everywhere else in Amsterdam. This is our last stop. We've made our way over to Vondel Park, which is kind of the central park of Amsterdam. The park itself takes up about 120 acres of land, and you'll see a lot of different people just riding their bikes, having a little picnic, or just enjoying an afternoon stroll all throughout this park. It's a really pretty park, and there are a lot of different places where you could get a drink or get a coffee. You can see this lake, which is quite beautiful, right in the middle of the park, which is just a very nice way to kind of just relax in the afternoon. So Amsterdam truly was something amazing. We did enjoy our time here. Lots of beauty all around with regards to these canals, and you can see the flowers are just everywhere. Outstanding metro system, just a lot of lovely places to walk. It's just one of those places that'll always be with you. While you take this in, let me just talk briefly about our costs. For lodging, we spent $307 for 2 nights at a hotel. For transportation, including our airfare, it cost $310. In terms of our food, we only spent $38. And miscellaneous tours and that sort of thing, we actually didn't spend anything since the Anne Frank House was sold out, leaving our grand total to about $655 for a per day average of about $328. From this point on, we'll be taking the Eurail for all of our destinations, which is going to cut down tremendously in terms of our travel costs. Our next stop is Berlin. See you there. Bye.